What's up, everybody? All right, let's cut it. Let's cut it. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Okay. All right. Before we get started, first of all, let me just say hi to everyone. My name is Robert Ferguson. That's Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. You can call me Robert. You can call me Robbie. You can call me Bob. You can call me Rob. Doesn't matter. I'm a guy who cares, and that's why I'm going to share. And this is going to be an interesting conversation because it's really just a conversation. So while I'm here in studio with the Diet Free Life, I just want to say thank you and let me know if you can hear me okay. And also, I'm using the camera and something happened. It got shifted. So if it's blurred or anything like that, let me know. I can always go out of camera, just put up a photo. And I just want to let me just tell you what we're going to talk about. Let's just dive in real quick. Okay. I'm going to talk about Oprah. Yes, I've talked about Oprah many times, but she's a public figure. I'm not here to shame anybody, but she's in the news and it's something that I want to talk about. Okay, so we're going to have a real candid conversation. I'm not hating. I think it's great. She's made a ton of money. She's positively impacted many people. But when it comes to the weight, I have a problem with Oprah. I really, really do. And I'm qualified in a really powerful, solid position to make comments. And the comments that I want to share are being shared to help you. This is not a shame on and beat up on Oprah. That's not that. Now, everything that I'm going to share to you is brought to you by our Detox Drop. When you drop it like it's hot, that's where the focus is going to be in this conversation. Okay, but I'm just frustrated with this lady. I really am. And it's not her fault. It really isn't. And when I say it's not Oprah's fault, it's really not. She's just ignorant. And it's a great example or demonstration of someone who has all the money, let's say in the world, which is not all the money in the world, but she's worth $2+ billion, has resources to do many awesome things. And I'm sure if I could sit down with Oprah and have a conversation in a very short period of time, the light bulb would turn on and she would realize how much she doesn't know after all of these years, after all of those experts that she's spent quality time with. She still has no idea about how to lose weight and what is actually possible when it comes to losing weight. It's really sad, but it just shows that we can't just assume that people know. I get this and I know this because I'm doing presentations all the time to doctors, to other dietitians, nutritionists, big companies who are taking responsibility for the health of their constituents. I mean, I got to have my stuff together. I have two amazing partners in one part of my business where they're extremely knowledgeable in the healthcare space. They've taught me a lot. I feel like I continue to teach them things. And we're in front of a lot of people. I mean, we're in front of people who are passionate about what they think about nutrition and weight loss. But at one point, the science does settle. And we're at a place because we're evidence-based, right? We're scientifically validated and clinically proven on multiple levels. They can't argue with us. You really can't debate us. Now you can debate maybe something. I mean, I don't know what that would be, but when it comes to weight loss, I'm sorry. We really have it down to a science. And that's why I feel confident that I can share what I'm going to share. And I'm sharing it publicly because Oprah's a public figure. She's an influencer. And I can see the writing on the wall. She's talking about Ozempic now. There's a whole bunch of cray-cray going on with that. And Oprah's, she's just part of the cray-cray. Again, she just don't know any better. And the people like you may be thinking, well, she's around The Rock and The Rock must know. Look at him. I mean, come on. And again, look, I'm open to learning, you guys. I'm just sharing with you what I know. I'm just going to keep it very real. And my goal is for you not to fall into the trap of these weight loss drugs that so many people are falling prey to. They're falling prey, and it's not good. And feel free as I'm going, I just want to have a conversation. So let's imagine we're hanging out at my place. We're at one of my favorite restaurants in Ventura, California called Wood Ranch. Wood Ranch. Okay. What's up, Sharon? Where you at, girl? Where you at? You better schedule a coach call with me. All right. So the sound is good. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just going to assume that everything else is good. You can see me okay. What's up there, Sweet P 1015? I don't know who that is, but hey, oh, that's Tammy. What's up, Tammy? Tammy's in the house. Okay, and if you guys want to weigh in and make some comments about these GLP-1 drugs, we're talking about Ozempic, Wegovy, Trulicity, Mounjaro, and the list goes on and on. People are jumping on these drugs like crazy. They are in line. And I'm going to open up by sharing with you something that most of them don't know. And Oprah doesn't know. Now, Oprah's compromised because if you guys didn't know it, she didn't say she's taking Ozempic. She didn't say it. But she's a stockholder for a company called Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers, along with Noom, are both advocating this drug. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. I mean, just the next 5 minutes, what I'm going to share with you. The next 5 minutes, even if you're against me, let's say you're taking the drug, just stay with me for 5 minutes. If you're okay with what I'm about to share with you, and you still would advocate this drug, hey, God bless you, and I hope it works out. And if you have any kind of data that will contradict what I'm sharing publicly, bring it. If you want to call me, if you want to email me, we can do a live and we can both talk. I've invited so many doctors to get on and have a conversation with me about this drug. But they won't, because they will lose. And they will lose just with one thing. And that's what I'm going to share with you right now. So how many of you guys, if you don't mind, comment if you're catching me live, know someone who's taking these drugs? Or maybe you took the drug. Any thoughts? You want to share anything? And you do get what I mean when I say Oprah's compromised, right? When I say Oprah's compromised, that means she has a vested interest in Weight Watchers. She can't knock a drug that the company is advocating, but she can say, I thought about it, and never really tell us how she recently lost the weight that she recently lost. But the fact that she even brings it up, and it's like in People magazine, and it's all over, and I'm here talking about it, that's worth a lot. And that's a disservice, because she is talking about a drug that is taking advantage of people who are misinformed or uninformed. Now, you may be thinking, okay, Robert, get to it. Tell us that one thing. And some of you are like, well, hey, my doctor said, he's a doctor and you're not a doctor. Okay, I'm not a doctor. But for almost 30 years, 28 years, I've been helping people lose weight and improve metabolic health with nutrition, food as medicine. And I have a successful track record with celebrities, pro athletes, big Fortune 20 companies, a whole bunch of people, 2 evidence-based clinical trials, a few books. You can argue the books, you can argue who I work with, but you can't argue what we've demonstrated in 2 evidence-based, clinically proven trials that were randomized. We're talking controlled, and the outcome continues to be the same thing. Okay, so you can't argue that. And you may be thinking again, my doctor said it's okay, and they're recommending. Of course they're recommending it. But ask them to give me a call. Ask them to please come on. I'll give them 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They can have we can do a 35-minute conversation. I will give them the first 30 minutes to run with it, and just give me 5. And then I'll ask them one question that I'm about to demonstrate that with you guys. And if they're okay with it, they're either really ignorant No, actually, they would be dumb. That wouldn't even be ignorance. That would be, yeah, I don't know what you call that. I don't want to be rude, but that wouldn't be just ignorant. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'm going to share with you what I want to share with you. Okay, let's see here. Look at Linda. Linda's in the house. So Linda says, so sad. I have personally seen someone take the jab for these drugs she's talking about, not the vaccine, for months. Not much weight loss for that person. Now, Linda can say that. I mean, anybody can say that, but Linda just lost, she went from 249 pounds to 135 pounds eating food. Linda, you know what, Linda? Think about this. You know more than Oprah. Now, she got more money than you and me and everybody who's catching this, but you know more about nutrition than Oprah. With all her money, you know way more about nutrition and health than Oprah. Think about that. In the words, the paraphrase of my man from the movie, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Okay. Training Days, Denzel Washington. Because that's true. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Someone else said, I know someone. Let me see. I know several people on them. Man, what I'm about to tell you guys, and you know what? You could go and tell these people, they ain't going to stop. I know some pretty smart people make a lot of money and they catch my lies, but they heard a little bit a couple times and they don't even want to see it. They'll hide or snooze me for 30 days because that's what people do who don't want to face reality. There's a lot of people who just want to let me do this for a while, get some momentum, and then I'll eat healthier. Maybe they don't know what I'm about to share with you. Okay, let's just dive in. Let's just talk about it. All right, someone else said, I know someone and my doctor wants to put me on it. I mean, your doctor just stupid. I mean, seriously, if part of when you become a doctor, you take the Hippocratic Oath. And the Hippocratic Oath, there's two things that stand out for me. It says, do no harm. So whatever doctor is putting you on these drugs, they're doing harm and I can prove it. I'm going to prove it. It says, do no harm. Maybe they went to Harvard. What's that? So what? What I'm going to share with you, they're doing harm if they are recommending that drug. And some of you, and you can go vet this, but once you figure it out and have clarity and you still are okay with them, I mean, what's wrong with you? Seriously, what's wrong with you? Okay, so the Hippocratic Oath says, do no harm. That's pretty important. Now, the root meaning of the word doctor is teacher. They're supposed to be teaching. They're supposed to inform us. Part of the Hippocratic Oath is informed consent. So are they sharing with you everything about this drug? No, they're not. So they're doing harm and there's no informed consent. I'm not being a meanie. That's just the truth. And if it's not a doctor and there's some medical place and you guys are okay with it, I mean, shame on you. Seriously. It's unbelievable. It's mind-blowing to me. Just mind-blowing. Okay, someone says, hey, Robert, help me get off of 3 of 4 diabetic drugs in a little over 2 months. That's Tammy. What's up, Tammy? She's a rock star. Okay. So I have this whole thing on Oprah. But let's start off with this part. And when people come later and they don't get this part, then they don't really get it. Okay. So when you step on the scale, you will get a weight. So let's say it's 200 pounds. So you step on the scale, it's 200 pounds. Maybe it's 300 pounds. Now, where is that weight coming from? That weight could be your hair. Let's say you have really long hair. If you cut all your hair off, that could be 3 pounds right there. Your liver is about 3 pounds. So if you wanted to be 3 pounds lighter, if you took your liver out, which you wouldn't do, I mean, I hope you wouldn't, then you'll be 3 pounds lighter. Your bones make up, like, so if we pulled you apart, ripped you apart, your bones, we put them over in a stack, they would make up some of that 200 pounds. Your organs would make up a certain amount of weight. The blood in your body would make up a certain amount of weight. The water in your body is going to make up about at least 50% of your weight, right? Just water. If they rinse the water out of everything, out of the blood, out of the organs, you have that weight. If you have a ring on and a watch on, that'll be part of that weight. And then you have your skeletal muscle, which is what makes it possible for me to stand up, for you to go for a walk, for us to exercise. And the muscle is going to make up a good amount of that weight. Okay, so we're good. And if your bones lose density, right, you're probably thinking osteoporosis, because that does happen. That makes up a certain amount of weight. So you have all these different things that make up the weight, right? So whatever your weight is, all these things. Now, of all of those things that make up your total weight, one of them you don't want to get rid of, to include the organs. And that would be muscle and skeletal muscle. Because if you lose your skeletal muscle, you can't get up, can't walk, can't do anything. If you lose your heart muscle, you're dead. So we don't want to lose muscle. And as you get older in life, right, as you mature, we start to lose muscle. We know that the more muscle you have, if you got cancer, you have a better chance of survival. We know that the more muscle you have, the longer you're likely to live. We know that the more muscle you have, the more youthful you're going to look. We know that the more muscle you have, it plays a huge role in your overall health and quality of life. When you lose muscle, you become frail. You ever see someone who got cancer and they had to go through chemo and they're not doing well. You ever see someone go in a coma and atrophy sets in and they can't even like get up. They got to go to physical therapy to build back some muscle, but they never get back. They never get back that same amount of muscle. It's like if you put a 20-year-old person in a cast and you put a 60-year-old person in the cast. When they both take the cast off, the 20-year-old person, their arm is going to be smaller, but they're going to get it back. That 60-year-old, that arm ain't ever getting back to what it used to be. When you look at why people are dying, right? Like the large majority is heart disease. Right behind that, not far behind, hip fractures. What goes along with hip fractures? Sarcopenia. What is sarcopenia? Vanishing flesh, losing muscle, becoming more frail. When someone breaks their hip, has a hip fracture, they go into the hospital, 50% of them don't make it out. I could be off on that percentage, but last time I looked, it's about 50%. Or maybe it's, if you break it once, fracture it once, then you're 50% more likely to fracture it again, and then you're less likely to make it out of that hospital because you're not going to make it. How am I doing with the importance of muscle? You guys tell me. Is it starting to make sense? Like, I mean, do you want to give away skeletal muscle? You're going to be frail. You ever see those people at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and they can barely get around? They lost so much muscle and they start aging like quickly. This is very important to get here because Oprah don't know this. If she did, she could not be with a company that recommends these drugs. No doctor who's informed could recommend these drugs. Unless, okay, maybe they tell you that, okay, when you go on these drugs, you got to hit the weights really hard. Well, most people are not eating that many calories because the drug, one of the things that it does for the people who lose weight is that you're not hungry. You have no desire to eat. How are you going to be lifting weights, doing squats and like really going for it when you probably didn't work out anyway before? And now you're taking a drug that takes away all your energy. You don't even have the energy to do anything. I mean, come on, think about it. If this was the case, man, I mean, I would love to be the lawyer on this side because I would destroy them. Because once I get the jury, I get you to understand the importance of skeletal muscle. Once you understand the importance of skeletal muscle, when it comes to losing weight, that's the weight you don't want to lose, because you don't want to be frail, and you don't want to be in a situation where you lose it and you can't get it back. Maybe, I almost forgot. There's a study that came out in January 2023 that was very clear, and they looked at body mass, body composition. Specifically, they were looking at fat-free mass, skeletal muscle. And what they discovered is that a person between the age of 50 and 80 years of age, if 8% of their weight loss comes from skeletal muscle, they increase their risk of heart attack by 300%. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, you guys tell me. I mean, what else? I mean, 300%? I mean, okay. All right. Lord, help me. Can somebody help me? All right, I'm going to go to the comments. I got to see. This is, I mean, oh, man, I'm about to we're right there. We're right there. I mean, let's do drum roll and then I'll look at your comments. Okay, so now we know the importance of skeletal muscle. We know that a doctor is a horrible doctor who is not informing you of that before you consent to taking this drug. We know that a doctor is horrible because the Hippocratic Oath says, do no harm. And if they're recommending this drug, they're either ignorant, unaware, and if they are aware, then they're stupid and they don't give two shits about you. So, Robert, how can you say that? Okay, you got me. All right, break it down. Here's the deal. There are studies right now, many studies, that demonstrates the majority of the weight that people are losing on these drugs is coming from skeletal muscle and water. Skeletal muscle and water, not fat. So we know they're going to lose muscle. Now, here's something that you may want to know. The FDA doesn't look at body composition. When they approve a drug for weight loss, they don't look at body fat percentage. They only look at the weight on the scale, and they may look at the BMI. They don't look at body fat percentage. They don't care where the weight is coming from. They don't care if you're losing skeletal muscle or if you're losing fat weight. They don't care. That's not part of being approved by the FDA. If it was, it would have never been approved. It would have never been approved. One doctor I know up north, before he allows his patients, or before he prescribes Ozempic or these other drugs, he has them do a DEXA scan. Now, a DEXA scan includes radiation, so it's not something you can do every month. And in that DEXA scan, you can see where the fat is in your body, the visceral fat, the subcutaneous fat, the skeletal muscle. You can see it all, right? And you can get these done. That's one way to find out if you have osteoporosis. So he has them do that so he knows exactly how much of their weight is fat and how much is skeletal muscle, bone, water, etc. Then they go on the drug. Now, I consider that to be informed consent. He's informing them, and then they still do it. He tells them that you're likely to lose, and I don't know how much time he's spending with them, but I'm assuming he's spending a good amount of time. So 8 months goes by. They come in, they feel, oh yeah, come on. I got this. I got this. Boom, boom, right? They're happy because they lost weight. Then he does another DEXA scan. 66 to 75% of their weight loss, water and skeletal muscle. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you have not been here since we started, and you're ignorant to what the importance of skeletal muscle is. Now, if you're ignorant, God forgive you. Ignorance is bliss for a lot of people. But when you know, you know. And if you don't know, like a lot of these ignorant people just using this drug, then they just don't know. That's why I said earlier, it's not their fault. I'm not here to shame anybody and make anybody feel bad. These people don't know. That's why when they go to the doctor is supposed to inform them. The doctor is not supposed to do harm. And if the doctors were doing their job, and if people like Oprah weren't so ignorant, you would know. I wouldn't want my mom to go on that drug over 70 or 80 years of age to lose weight, knowing that she's going to give up important skeletal muscle. And now she gets pregnant. I'm not pregnant. That's not going to happen. Then she and then she loses muscle or she gets cancer. The less muscle you have, we know the chances of you making it through cancer is reduced significantly. Skeletal muscle is important for how you look, how you feel, plays a huge role in the likelihood of you having a heart attack, plays a huge role in the likelihood of you surviving cancer. And we're giving people a drug, a weight loss drug. Pull them in. They don't know, suckers. Pull them in. Pastors of a church, if you are catching this, call me. I'll give you the stats. I'll give you the citations. I'll give you the data. Educate your congregation. I bet there's some pastors out there talking about how much weight they lost because they got on the drug and influencing people in their congregation. I mean, this talk about a Jim Jones moment here. People are drinking the Kool-Aid. If I'm wrong, I mean, I go through the remarks. I go back. If I'm wrong, can somebody please help me see that I'm wrong? Okay, someone says, I've been working on my muscles and that made me change my mind on that drug. God bless you. Thank you. Someone else says, I have been taking Mounjaro since October 2022. My A1C was out of range. Combination of a healthier diet and Mounjaro, I've lost 37 pounds. Okay, whoever you are, do you hear my words? Have you been here from the beginning? Okay, I'm glad you feel better and I'm glad that you've lost 37 pounds. Okay, I'm happy for you. I don't know how old you are, but do you understand that you have increased your risk of heart attack? You increased your risk of not making it if you got cancer. You have done damage to your body. So get off of that damn drug and hit the gym hard, lift weights, and get back as much of that muscle as you can. Because if you don't do that and you continue to be on that drug, I don't know how else to share this. Go back and watch this from the beginning because, I mean, Lord help us. Because so many people are falling prey to this. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, let's see. Heather. What's up, Heather? My husband has been on Ozempic for 2 years. He was a muscular man, so he had a lot of muscle. And I know Heather. What's up, Heather? You're a good person. I miss you. She says, and now his legs and arms are small, but his belly is still big. Shit. Sorry. That means she's confirming what I'm saying. He's lost muscle, his legs and arms. His visceral fat is there because the weight loss is coming from muscle. It's not coming from fat, you guys. Very little fat. Heather says, I've tried to talk to him about it, but he won't quit taking it. Oh, Lord. You know what? Ask him, say, hey, look, Robert, I know him. Let's watch this. And some people just they're not gonna change. They're not. They're not. When people see the truth, they're not. It's kind of like when I talked about extra virgin olive oil. One of my clients' boyfriend, he's put it in his head that if you cook with extra virgin olive oil and it gets too hot in the pan, it converts and is really bad for you. Even though I've shown toxicology reports, that is not true. But some people would rather be right in whatever they believe is right than to see the truth, because then they feel like a failure. And I get that. They drank the Kool-Aid. They were bamboozled, hoodwinked. It is what it is. But don't continue to be stupid. Once you're informed, make a change. As Michael Jackson would say. Someone says, thanks for sharing the truth. Hey, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Okay. I'm serious. Like, I need to put together like something that people can just give their doctors. And you know what the doctors will do? Not all of them. Some of them will wake up, because I've talked to many. And I actually got a few doctors to go, oh, I didn't know all that. Oh, and then they no longer prescribe it. Or at least that's what they told me. Look at the people, because I've seen a whole bunch of people that use these drugs and they don't look good. You can tell they've lost weight, but something's off. Something's off. Yeah. So as I'm looking at this thing just with Oprah, I mean, these people are crazy, man. And here's the thing. They know how, whenever they do like a panel and they do a conference, they don't have people who are going to speak against what they're saying. So it's not like an open conversation where you can hear other sides. All the people that you see on TV and in these panels are people who are all going with the same narrative. You ever wonder why that is? When I was a kid growing up, the majority of advertisement on TV was paid for by the car industry, like Ford commercials and General Motors. Today, 75% of the money generated for commercials on TV. When you watch these movies on TV, you watch your series on TV, you watch the news, no matter what channel, 75% of the revenue generated is from the pharmaceutical industry. And if you're going to have a narrative that goes against a drug where they're making money, I believe Novo Nordisk, who puts out 2 of these drugs, I think I saw recently over 50% of their income is coming from these drugs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm part of the media. I'm in it. I've done a lot on it, and I'll continue to do what I do, make appearances and share information. Now doing more and more stuff like this. Maybe they won't invite me. Maybe that'll start getting cut down because they don't want, I may go against the narrative. I'm going to tell the truth, man. So Heather, if I were you, seriously, I don't know. If you want me to get on the phone, I'm there for you. I will get on the phone and I'll talk to him. I say, look, cut your losses. Stop. Some of these people that you guys know, some people who are watching this, some may have commented, God forbid, they ain't going to be here. And it's going to come down to sarcopenia. In Greek, that means vanishing flesh. If you go to my book in 2001, I was talking about sarcopenia. And here we are, 2023 is about to become an epidemic. Part of the reason why is because nobody's speaking out against it. There's a lot of people that's just quiet. And whenever they see me on the side or in one-on-one, they go, man, I like how you just keep it real. I'm like, why aren't you? And I'm talking about people who are influencers. Why aren't you keeping it real? Because they don't want to upset anybody. The truth is the truth. If 66 to 75% of the weight people lose when they take these drugs, let's say it's only 40%. If it was 40%, that's shortening your life. That's making you age faster. That's putting you in a position of major risk if you get cancer. That's increasing your risk of heart attack by 300%. Oh, man. I mean, come on. I don't even want, I mean, I threw Oprah out there, but she don't know any better. With all that money, Oprah don't know jack when it comes to weight loss. And with all that weight loss programs and all of the losing weight and gaining it back, she don't know nothing. So some of you are my friends and you know Oprah. And I've been in Oprah's midst. And here's the deal. She don't know. And most people who know her, you ain't even going to tell her. Because you want to be invited to the next party. And that's the world we live in. It's like these people, man. They live their whole life just selling out. And I get it. They got to pay rent, got to pay mortgage, got to pay for, they want to be part of the group. Go along, get along. We need more real people. Let's talk real. People are putting their lives at risk because of these drugs. And I didn't even go. I've done this on some past one where I talk about what no doctors talk about, and that's what's taking place on the fat cell level. Man, I don't know what else to say. All right. Is there anything else I need to say? I mean, you guys asked me. Any other questions? I mean, I'm just I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know Oprah, but I got to call her on this. I mean, you got you got $2 billion. But I mean, it's kind of like when they did that whole thing on about Maui. As soon as I saw that, I just turned it off. I saw it on YouTube. I was like, I mean, really? Yeah, she gave $10 million of her own money. You guys know what $10 million when you got 2 billion plus? If I was a billionaire, like an Andrew Carnegie, right? Second part of his life, I'm just going to give all my money away and make a difference. If I had, I mean, really? Every one of those homes torn, I would be like, look, government reimburse me later. I got $2 billion. You know what? I'm crying. It's kind of like I wanted to see, like, it would have made more sense to see Oprah crying and pleading and wanting to make a difference than it's kind of like when Chris Rock back in the day, when you had in Louisiana, when we had the big floods and the cameras came in and he was this tears crying because he saw the people, he saw the devastation. Oprah goes on, hey, her and The Rock, we're going to make, hey, you guys donate. I'm like, really? I mean, come on. Thank goodness for social media and that people can think for themselves. Let's do the same thing when it comes to these stupid drugs. I've been recommending, preaching, teaching our diet-free life methodology for years, right? Weight Watchers was doing the same and they keep changing. Noom, they come out the gate, they're trying to do the same or psychology around it. And now both of these companies are promoting a weight loss drug? What would that look like? Like, I mean, for those who know me for all these years, from the infomercials, the TV shows, the out there making a difference, the campaigning for better health. What if tomorrow I did this same kind of lie? I go, hey, you guys, look, I changed my mind. We're going to get on these Ozempic and we go. I probably come out like this. Y'all listen up. Wegovy that's the next big thing. What if I did that? That would be absolutely horrible. Because you would know, oh, he sold out. Well, you don't got to worry about that. That ain't happening. The truth is the truth. And there's a lot of stupid people. You know, years ago, one of my assistants says, Robert, you can't save everybody. I go, I get it. You can't save everybody. Okay, so let's see. Someone says, I say you sold out. How much money you making with that? Yeah, exactly. That would be me selling out. Ain't gonna happen, man. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And Linda, as Linda was on here earlier, she loses all this weight, right? So she goes from 249 pounds to 135 pounds, eating regular food, learning how to eat. And then she has some millionaire people around her, friends, people that see her lose this weight, and they start taking these drugs. Ain't really changing nothing. But with all of their money, with all of their being like well traveled, with all of their access and resources, they still stupid or ignorant. Let's say ignorant. I don't want to be mean. They're still ignorant, just like Oprah. You would think Oprah, and I get why she don't get it, because she finds someone she can confide and believe in. She believes in them. And then that person will block her from learning about other things. I've worked with a lot of celebrities, a lot of pro athletes. I've seen it. I've had some Grammy Award, some major stars I work with, their own family members block me from helping them because they had secured a job doing something similar to me. So let's block out Robert, right? And I see this. I mean, I had coaches. They will teach the Diet Free Life methodology, right, to their clients and try to take credit for all that they're teaching. Ego is ego. I don't know what else it is. And I don't need them to put my name on their hat. But I'm a big believer in acknowledging your pedigree. But some people get to that place, man. They get to that place, and when you look at them and you see them, they can't even look at you. There's a whole bunch of them out there too. All right, you guys. Any other questions before I say goodbye? Because I definitely went for it. I went over 40 minutes. I got on here thinking I would be on here for 15 minutes. I didn't even read through all of this stuff in the People magazine about Oprah and all of this craziness that she's talking about and what they're saying about her. They're saying obesity is a disease. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. I would love to have with Oprah or anyone that believes it's a disease. I don't believe that. And some of you are like, okay, Robert, I agree with you up until now. I really don't. Now they've diagnosed it as a disease. I just don't see it as a disease. And I will explain that in a follow-up conversation. And then I will bring on some of the doctors who have been out there talking about how it's the disease. And just keep in mind, like I was telling Linda, I go, Linda, do you realize that there's a lot of experts and doctors that will look at you and say, you cannot lose weight doing what you did, even though she did, because they don't know. All right. Anyway, I had put some links in there. I was supposed to talk about a few other things, and then I don't know. I lost focus. Someone says, so she's taking the drug. I don't know if Oprah's taking the drug. So whoever that is, you must have came in late. I don't know if she's taking the drug. I don't know what she's doing. Now, of course, she is promoting Weight Watchers because she's a stockholder with Weight Watchers. She bought years ago. I think going back maybe 2011, she's been a major owner of Weight Watchers. And now Weight Watchers has made a decision. I think she still sits on their board. And that's why she needs to make some kind of comment, because there's a partnership. You guys, I mean, look. You see what I mean? Like, look. Jeez. It's all happening around us. It's all happening around us. Like today, I actually got the interview for our upcoming Food is Medicine course. We have a new session. I'll share that tomorrow. And I'm going to stop. It's time for me to go to my office and get some food. I'm hungry. Got to get some things done. I love you guys. I appreciate you giving me time. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, make a comment, share it. Ask people, hey, if you're taking this drug, look, listen. If they just listen, to the first 25 minutes of this share, and they still want to take the drug, God bless them and keep it moving. I'm Robert Ferguson, you guys. Until the next one,